But then it's going to be first pick Kai'Sa, and I already don't really like the picks and bans, you know, that much for NRG for what they've got. I want to see what the response is, because clearly they've thought this through. You know, will they be going towards Rumble? Will they be going towards some of those big picks?
I've got to assume that they will go with the Xayah plus Rakan combo, because Ignar loves the Rakan so much. But you don't have to early pick the Xayah part of it.
She's banned.
Oh yeah, and it was banned number 3 here for Team Liquid. That good last ban from them, I think, seeing that response coming.
All right, NRG, what is the plan here? Really wondering how this is going to work out, giving away the Kai'Sa, banning the Trist out. There's got to be something up their sleeves.
Ain't no way.
Ain't no way.
Ain't no way.
Playing to the crowd.
Don't get baited. Don't get baited.
Ain't no way. Thank goodness.
Playing to the crowd, or against the crowd, I guess.
I feel like that's against humanity at this point.
That's like any press is good press type of strategy.
Unless you're Yuumi. But they lock in the Ezreal instead. FBI this time, I'm sure, will be a bit more careful about his near end of champ selections on summoner spells, as they're going to pick up the Rell here as well.
Okay, they steal away the Rell instead. So leave it kind of wide open here then for Team Liquid on the back swing. I mean, there has been so much attention paid to Summit. Now that Summit is on blue side, you might want to early pick something for him before Rumble and Jax get banned out, but they go for the Lee Sin immediately.
Yeah, they want to grab that AD jungler. Viego was already banned out. You know, this was another one kind of down that tier list, so he's not going to be going towards a Kindred, which he's really well known for, and it will be the Lee Sin. More about that early stage, and we'll see how he can perform on it. Poppy, I think, is a great response to both Kai'Sa and Lee Sin. And in general, TL has been playing a lot of champions with dashes. You know, Nico, not bad. There's also obviously, you know, Aatrox potentially coming in, things like that from Summit that it could be good against. So I think this is a really smart pick. The question to me is, where is Palafox going to go? Because now you can throw STL even more protection bans. You can ban out something like the Azir, which Palafox is really well known for, and really try to push him down that tier list a bit. So we have to think, you know, where does Palafox want to go?
I mean, I feel like they will ban away, the
LeBlanc and Azir potentially?
at least. LeBlanc was the next one to follow in, and LeBlanc plus Ezreal is to kind of pseudo-poke champions here. It looks like they're not even, or NRG is not even really worried about what Summit will pick, since he's going to have to blind pick it. So looks like they will be happy with just having Dokka on the counter pick, even though there have been some restrictions there.
So it is the Azir. Now we have to find out, you know, are they actually going to ban out the LeBlanc as well? Because that's kind of my expectation of where Palafox would go from here. Also curious, you know, for NRG, do they ban out something like the Gwen here? You know, are they going to be concerned about that, or does Dokka feel that he has an answer to it? And we can go towards something like a GP, but outside of that, he's mostly playing tanks. The Rumble is a decent answer as well. So that's another option for TL to ban. They have a few things to think through.
But their hard focus is on the engaged supports. They know what the recipe for success for Team Liquid in team fights is. And Dokka, for the first time this series, will have counterpick.
Yeah, and the Rumble is up so far. So is it going to be LeBlanc? Is it going to be Rumble? Those are the two main questions for me right here. Leona, I think, is going to be a good option for Core. So I think he's not going to be pushed off all the engage.
Or Rakan either.
Jax is still up too. Jax is still up too.
But Dopla's not a Jax guy.
Right, but Summit could blind slam that, and that could be the thing Dopla has to play against. But it will be Azir LeBlanc, double mid lane bans, seriously showing some respect to Palafox here for TL.
Absolutely, and now he has to show us is there's a little bit of a kind of a hover there of APA, what he normally hovers. Syndra is something he has played. This is the only other champion he's played that's unbanned, and FBI is kind of hovering some of the APA champs. I think a little bit of banter there back and forth between the teams.
All right, will they lock that in? Oh my goodness, we're getting it. Aurelion Sol.
And Palafox and NRG, when they were known as CLG, were the first team to really embrace the new reworked Aurelion Sol. Palafox, very confident on this champion, put a lot of time after the rework into this champion. So even after the nerfs, it's still going to bring it back.
This is going to be such a different look, though, for NRG, because, you know, where is the proactivity going to come from? You know, when you draft Ezreal, when you draft Asol, you have some engage here with the Rell, but Asol wants to go late. Asol wants to play slow. You need to stack up. You need to actually get ready for those late game 5v5s. And I feel like TL is going to be the ones that have a lot of agency. They have the Rakan, they have the Nico, they have Lee Sin, a lot of tools to really get aggressive and try to push the pace of the game. So it's going to be such a different look for NRG, who I think is going to be almost guaranteed on the back foot.
Yeah, I mean, Team Liquid always go dive, so NRG are expecting counter dive and peel. Now you're going to have to scale up multiple items, have to peel, use that Poppy. I think that critical Poppy pick will be very big.
This Jax is what I was expecting when we got to the bans, when it was double support focus. Summit just blind slamming the Jax. What does Dokla answer with?
I think it has to be Rumble. I think if it's Rumble and Contracts plays to protect him with the Poppy, you win that 2v2 against Jax and Lee Sin. This would be really surprising. I mean, it could be potentially Poppy top.
Yeah.
He could also go towards K'Sante, so he is going to go the more conservative option. I really do like Rumble in this matchup. We've seen people bring out Jax into it, but it only really succeeded against the Rumble when it had a tremendous amount of jungle assist. And I felt like they could have played through the 2v2 since they have Poppy, but this is definitely the safer choice. They feel that they already have enough damage with the Aesol, with the Ezreal, so he's going to go for the conservative option. The downside of that is, again, it's just another lane that's going to be on the back foot.
Yeah. There's no real, I'm going to play through this lane option for Energy and Contracts specifically. Ezreal needs to scale up. Aurelion Sol's whole thing is see at 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, K'Sante is not going to win 1v1 against Jax like that.
So it's about Pyosik, you know, him being able to utilize the pressure his lanes are presumably going to have to try to get things done, and we'll see if he can snowball through Summit.
Well, the Ezreal definitely can push early on, so Contracts can still play off of that pushing lane early on and try and make some...
Let's do it. We're on Summoner's Rift for what might be the last time today. Energy only needs one more game to secure their spot in the finals tomorrow, or will Team Liquid push us to Silver Scrapes?
I think it's such an interesting read here. You know, I'm thinking about it more and more about the Aesol, the logic behind it. You know, Palafox, if you feel that you are stronger than APA, and I think he has shown that across both the series that he is, you know, being able to have the advantage over APA, you can either go early in a matchup that you can bully your opponent, or you can throw down the gauntlet and say, I'm going to max scale because you can't punish me.
Yeah.
And that is kind of the other side of the coin here. So we'll see if APA can prove him wrong, if he can get something done, play with Pyosik, utilize that Lee Sin, and make something happen.
Usually Contracts, when he is on this Poppy, gets very active very early on. And I do want to emphasize that you can make a lot of moves towards an Ezreal lane super early into the game. One of the reasons it is picked into Kai'Sa is because you have the earlier item spikes. You know, Kai'Sa needs the 3, Ezreal can go on 2, even on just Trinity Force, especially if Ignar is able to get some good rel setups there. So I expect Contracts to start topside and maybe look down towards that area. Meanwhile, mid lane here should be the farm fest.
Both 80 carries with Cleanse this game. Ignite for Ignar to make some of those roams, some of those plays, try to get the early kill secures. CoreJJ rocking the heal, making sure that they can scrap early and often if they need to. 2 Stardust already for Palafox. He's off to the races.
Huge.
Yep, he's playing that E-Star here. Is on Comet. And TSM made finals after all.
Death, taxes, and TSM chants in the stadium. There's a few certainties in life and a few certainties here in the LCS. Palafox just hanging back early on. Again, the name of the game, scale up. He's fine losing the early control over the wave. Ignar and FBI have that early push just like you were talking about, Kobe. The Ezreal and the Rel can get this shove. Contracts doing the full clear over his top side. Palafox channeling the Breath of Light there. Remember, it is a limited time channel until he hits level 9. Level 9 is a massive break point for Aurelion Sol. Because of that, you can keep it on as long as you need.
And if you can channel it early on in trades on your opponent, then you get more Stardust as well.
Yep, but you can see the APA is actually using the clone. So, you know, when he starts channeling it, he just throws the clone out in between him, and then the clone is actually tanking that Q, and he's able to step forward and look for harass onto Palafox.
Oh.
And I think, you know, a lot of times as we're seeing him in trouble now.
They wanted to try to gank Dokla, but Contracts was there first. Summit's running away. He needs another hit. Contracts! What in the hell was that? Dokla's got to try to get away from Pyosik now. Contracts gives him a first blood.
The biscuit delivery there, popping everything, chasing him under tower. That was reckless abandon, Captain Flowers.
Oh my goodness gracious, Contracts. We wanted to see him get involved in the lanes, but not like that. Energy with a pretty critical blunder up there in top lane gives Summit a first blood and a base to grab the Sheen at 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, that is huge. Such an early Sheen there for Summit, putting him in an advantage in this matchup against Dokla, where he's going to be able to outscale. He's going to be able to play towards side lanes, and that could be something problematic for Energy's comp as a whole, because Energy's comp is all about 5v5. It's about grouping up. It's about scaling. It's about taking those team fights. And we can see this one more time as the Q3 there was able to flip in Summit. They bait him in to go aggressive. Contracts is waiting, goes forward. The Q, it looked like missed, so he went for the flash, but the flash was too late. The Q had already been used, and Contracts just doesn't have the damage.
He's just healing so much as Doran shield, and Contracts baited in, and once he saw Pyosik behind him, he knew there was no way out, so he's like, all right.
Did you see how wide open Steve's eyes were during that replay? He is on the edge of his seat in this potential elimination match for Team Liquid, and you can see right now the consequences of Contract's actions as Summit beats Dokla upside the head with that stick.
I mean, he even has the red buff, right? And that is brutal, and now Dokla taking a really bad trade like that. The wave is coming towards him, but he has to get a little bit nervous. He knows, hey, there could be potential for a dive. We know that Pyosik is not there and Contracts is around, so he should be safe. But will Contracts look for a repeat? Because that wave is so fat, I don't think you can actually make it happen.
This is so many minions. Contracts is just hanging around to make sure that Dokla doesn't get dove. They cannot allow Dokla to lose out on all of this. That would just be the end of the top lane for the rest of the game. So Contracts will chill out long enough. He'll see, okay, Dokla's picked up the wave. Everything's fine. He hits his level 5. We're cool. Summit's going to walk up to the brush here, place down that ward, so he will discover Contract's location. We'll see if Pyosik and the rest of TL can do anything with that. If nothing else, they already have the push in bottom, so they know Contracts isn't coming to stop that pressure anytime soon.
Man, that is so much time topside for Contracts. He has no farm at all. Pyosik is well ahead of him, and with a pushing bottom lane, Pyosik also going to be able to pick up the Dragon.
Yep, this will be the third of 4 games where Team Liquid grabs first Drake before 6 minutes. Really scary stuff. Summit again, controlling the top lane, trying to use the counter-strike to trade aggressively in the minion wave. As Pyosik left alone now, his bottom lane going back into their laning state as they know that the Lee Sin can secure that Drake. He'll pick that up. It's a 500 gold lead for Team Liquid early on. They're honestly doing perfectly fine.
And you can see APA pushing up through mid, trying to deny as much of the CS as he possibly can. Has already taken a plate in that 1v1 there against Palafox.
He's back again. Well, Contract's back.
But Summit is 6. Dokla needs 6, I think, if you're going to make this happen. Let's see how close he is. There's he's 6 now. They could go for it.
The all-out is here. Contract's coming in with a Hex Flash. Wants to find Summit. Does not get the full wall bank. Summit still trying to get away. Dokla goes forward with a Pathmaker. The all-out immediately ready to follow. Goes in for the Q3 in the end. Tofo strikes. Get it done this time. Contracts gets it right on the return visit.
If at first you don't succeed, then try again. Get back up there or else your top laner is going to be pissed.
Yep, he goes back up there, does bail him out. Dokla gets that kill. Unfortunately, lost a few of the CS to actually do it because the wave was at his turret. But still, now we'll see if he's going to actually try to push us out. I think Dokla probably just has to base here. We'll see if the wave is going to crash. Looks like it will, so Dokla's wave is going to be in a great spot. Mid lane, though, pretty favored towards APA thus far as Palafox, going to be on the back foot with this A-Soul, but probably wasn't planning on being 17 CS down this early.
Both mid lane and jungle here, because while Contracts is able to even up the kill for the top laner on top side, it costs him a lot. Skipping your own farm like that is going to have really big ramifications for your mid-game skirmishes and your ability to operate as Poppy. Even though you're a tank, even though you are lower economy, you're going to be more squishy, you're going to be under-leveled here. So this is a very different spot from where Energy usually are, where their jungle and their mid lane are power points for them.
Absolutely. I mean, that's 2 plates now taken by APA in this isolated 1v1. He's up nearly 20 CS. We'll see if Palafox is able to make anything happen here, though. Pyosik may be caught.
Yeah, Pyosik, they're trying to use the Falling Star to catch him in the Steadfast Presence, but they can't quite get it done. Pyosik obviously loses out in the trade, but he escapes just fine thanks to the flash. Still has about half his HP. He wants to go back and try to contest this red buff because he's got APA with him. The Nico could be the difference maker here. Pyosik, Sonic Wave. There's the nice use of the safeguard to displace Contracts. TL's picking up their 2nd kill of the game, while bottom lane, FBI and Ignar are losing the 2v2.
We said TL had to push the pace early, and they have been able to do that. APA has pressure mid. Pyosik going for these aggressive invades. They utilize that early power. The Poppy is so far behind now. Poppy 21 CS behind. A kill there over on a Pyosik. Contracts is going to be paper in these early fights.
Really, really tough spot to play from for the Energy jungler, and Team Liquid are going to take full advantage. They got the first Drake. Now they're going to get the first Herald a couple minutes later. That's the other edge you get from taking these first Drakes so early. You never have to handshake the other objective on the other side of the map. They're constantly spawning at different times. So TL off to an awesome early game here. Nearly 2,000 gold lead, both early objectives. Jungle massively far ahead, and mid lane, for what I believe is the first time this series, favors APA.
Yeah, this is exactly what Team Liquid need in a must-win game here for their entire year. Really, really big early start. Summit, of course, still has been playing well up on top side. off of the early advantage, even though it was evened up later with the extra kill from Contracts. Still has the CS lead, still harassing Dokla, still will be scaling into this massive Jax side lane threat.
Did end up accidentally using the ulti there for nothing, as Dokla was able to disengage it for free. Contracts finally hitting level 6. Even if he is insanely behind on Poppy, there's always the opportunity to warp the outcome of the fight with a Keeper's Verdict. We have seen it change games before.
I mean, you just have to knock someone more valuable than you out of the fight, right? Like, you can really be a big difference maker there. Palafox now, approaching that level 9, getting that breath ranked up here, wants to kind of hit that point where you have the infinite wave clear. If you can hit that point where you can stabilize, if you're not giving up any more farm, you can just infinitely clear out those waves. It becomes a lot more difficult for APA to punish.
Ignar trying to get away here as APA and Pyosik are again working together. This is what we wanted to see. With the Lee Sin and the Nico drafted together, Team Liquid is now challenging the mid jungle, which has been one of the biggest points of victory, one of the biggest points of strength for Energy, Contracts, and Palafox. It's Pyosik and APA's job to trounce him in this one. As they fire off the Herald, they claim 2 more plates. They're up almost 2,500 gold. Palafox struggles to clear the wave as Ignar's going to be caught by CoreJJ off to the side, but he won't be killed just yet. He can still keep walking away from this one, but it's TL with control over the enemy jungle here in the bottom side of the map. The Drake is spawning in 20 seconds, and they are absolutely in the driver's seat.
Yeah, and it's somewhat problematic because ASO really needs a safe place to farm, and with the tower that low, if they can grab next Herald, that's a guaranteed kill there, and they're looking for APA.
Oh, they bring down the skies, but APA has the flash to get away from it, and Contracts can't close the gap in time to secure the kill.
It's definitely a really big cooldown to blow before this Dragon fight. But even so, Team Liquid have such an advantage. They've got time for APA to recall, and he does now have his own ultimate advantage. So Energy probably give up the Dragon regardless.
Yeah, I don't see any world where you really just want to contest this one. You draft Aurelion Sol, that's the only Dragon you get in the early games usually. It's not going to feel too good trying to go out there without any Stardust. Yeah. So they're going to back away from it. He's got no ulti anyway. Team Liquid going to continue this early game objective dominance. Top side, Dokla versus Summoner. We're going to get more of a fight here. Summoner decides to use the ulti. Dokla has to answer with the same thing. All out, trying to find that third Interpo strike. He gets it. Palafox has made a rotation up into the top side. Now looking to finish off the enemy top laner. The counter strike is ready to go. Dokla, nice footwork to make sure he disengages. Summit will not quite die to the breath of light. Energy make the rotation, but Team Liquid's top laner gets away.
And that's 2 flashes from both Palafox and Dokla, and they got nothing off of Summit there. Now looking for APA.
APA dropping the Pop Blossom, trying to keep these guys away from him. It's only Contracts and Ignar. There's not a lot of damage here between these two. They go in on the clone. APA baits him and outsmarts him as Summit may just again find a 1v2 outplay, but no, he'll still just stay alive.
It's all Team Liquid all across the map right now. Mid tower is so low too, only 12 minutes into the game. That thing is standing just barely propped up. If Team Liquid can make a hard push, finish out that objective, then you get to take over the rest of the jungle. FBI's into trouble.
FBI though has Ignar coming to help him out. Double TP ready to reinforce. FBI might just die. Yon's already popping the cleanse as CoreJJ comes around from the side here with the quickness, but FBI gets away. Ignar won't do the same. FBI gonna get charmed up, brought down. Team Liquid 4-1. They are absolutely clapping Energy in this game.
Team Liquid want to go to a 5th game here, want to push Energy to the brink, and they are crushing them in this 4th game. Energy went all late game, wanted to go for the greedy draft, didn't feel that TL could punish them, but TL remind them that's their strength.
Falling Star again, flashed away from. Every time we've seen Palafox attempt to use this ulti, Team Liquid has flashes ready and they're not afraid to spend them getting out.
I mean, this is a 4K lead here at 13 minutes. TL was known for their early game. Energy threw down the gauntlet, didn't think they could be punished, and TL are giving them a bit of a wake-up call.
Yes, they definitely are getting punished. FBI wanted that turret plate. Classic turret plate greed. And Yon's able to chase him through. Then the rest of the team coming too. Teleports are answered, and you see CoreJJ in the river from behind. They get the flash out.
Uh-oh, Pyosik, could this be the solo kill for the Lee Sin? He's slowed him down with a Tempest Cripple. A kick upside the head, the Dragon's dead. Team Liquid 5 5-1.
It's a world champ diff in the bot lane. Pyosik gets in on Palafox, gets a solo kill on the Lee Sin, and now Summit getting aggressive. Dokla could be in some trouble here.
Yep, Dokla trying to knock him back into the turret, but he doesn't quite have the angle. Summit's gonna stay alive. He's gonna continue dominating this top lane 1v1, plus 30 CS for the Jax. The gold is becoming so insurmountable for Energy. Turret plates finally fall. They're up almost 5,000 gold on Team Liquid's side.
And with your mid tower down this early on into the game, you start to lose control of your jungle too. So it's not just the plays across the map that are being made. You're just going to constantly lose resources. They're going for the dive. He's got it.
Summit already kills Dokla, and Ignar and Palafox can't even reinforce in time. This game feels like it's already over. Contracts coming in, trying to get a revenge kill on Summit. Contracts and Ignar together have no damage. There's no way they can possibly make this work. Palafox is way too late. FBI trying to get on the side of the fight. Ezreal's not a flanker. That's a double kill back over to Yawn. Contracts is stuck in the middle of everybody, and the man already ain't got no money. He's trying to get out, but a grand entrance locks him down. Yawn brings the firepower, and that's another killing spree for TL. Yawn and CoreJJ trying to get out of this one. Palafox will finally get a second kill of the game for Energy. Yawn about to drop here too, and they want to give it over to the Dragon, but Summit's ready to rejoin. He's got the counter strike. Nice use of the Pathmaker there from Dokla to stop Summit from getting over onto Palafox. Pyosik finally clears the front line, and Palafox is looking to disengage once more. The breath of life, say goodnight. True shot barrage over the top, ain't gonna matter as another kill goes over to Pyosik. Team Liquid is melting Energy.
They're styling on him at this point. It's an everything diff as TL are just gonna get another one.
Ignar tries to get out in time. Pyosik, he even lands the Sonic Wave. Go ahead and just throw in the white flag, Energy. Team Liquid has smashed this game.
Oh, we're having some fun with it on finals weekend. Summit's going to be able to get out. Pyosik following here. That should be the end of it. But you know, this is the identity of both these teams. Even if they are losing, they will try and fight their way out. It will look crazy. It will look insane. And we're getting just that. It balloons to over 8,000, the gold lead now. And still, we're not going to be able to beat 1647.
Nope. Still not going to be able to beat that.
You have to wonder how it ever happened in the first place.
But TL looking to snowball this one. We'll see how quickly and how cleanly they can close that out, assuming they do. I mean, it's just such a monstrous lead. You want to keep pushing the pace. You don't want to give any chance for Palafox, to really stack it up and maybe take over later, but it would be an absolute, absolute miracle if he was able to do so.
5,000 gold, or 500, excuse me, gold bounty on Pyosik at least. You start looking at those bounties, you start pinging everybody.
Well, Summit just barely missing out on what could have been another kill right there. Yeah, if Team Liquid is going to lose this game, Energy's going to have to stall out like Frog and Anivia like back in 2014.
Yeah. They're pinging on the Dragon right now. They want an objective bounty shutdown, but that is a mountain dragon. Those things do not die quickly, and dragons also scale up the later the game goes. More and more tanky, more and more health. So those pings were
optimistic.
Very, very optimistic. Maybe delusional, I would say.
Okay, Palafox at least has the cheat code ulti. He has the ulti that covers half of the map. So maybe if everybody from Team Liquid stands in the same spot for 5 seconds, Energy will win a fight. But besides that, I don't really see it happening, boys.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, they're losing every tower. They can't get anything done. They're going to look for APA.
There it goes. He drops it, and now it's APA in trouble. They want to try to focus down the enemy. Nico, True Shot Barrage over the top, and the shutdown goes over to Palafox.
They got one.
It's plus 9,000 gold still for Team Liquid. Let's see what else Energy want to try to do with it. They put a lot
Contracts has
in
ult.
the APA bucket.
If he ults Pyosik,
he wants to get Pyosik out of the pin, and he does.
Bird Dragon!
Energy's still looking for the
bounty.
They don't want to allow them to have the same points. Ignar's going to move himself over here too, and at least secure it. An objective bounty is claimed, but now Energy's trying to get away. Summit's coming in on the flank, but Dokla's looking to keep him away and try to protect the rest of the team. Hex Flash back over the wall for Contracts. Dokla is getting absolutely whooped in the 1v1. CoreJJ coming around from the side as now Summit is trying to lock down the rest of these guys on the escape route. Dokla goes back into the third and Topro strike, but it ain't gonna matter. Summit still gets the kill. Energy are lambs to the slaughter as Team Liquid gets the ace.
Team Liquid get the ace, and they're going to march on the Nexus here. We'll see if they can end it. The death timers are so low because it's so early in the game, but they are stepping forward. The inhibitor is gone, and they can look to try to end it right here, right now.
18 and a half minutes into the game. 17 kills for Team Liquid. Ignar is back alive, but he is the only one. The Nexus turrets will fall. The Nexus is exposed. Team Liquid will take the game in 18 minutes and 54 seconds. We are going to Silver Scrapes.
Wow.
What a stop. TL came out here angry. Energy, throw down the gauntlet. They say, you can't punish our scaling. We're going to draft late. We're going to 5v5. You're not the team to beat us early. And TL really made them regret it. They won across the map. Summit gets that first blood off of the mishap there from Contracts. APA and Pyosik are pushing. They're taking plates. They're invading the enemy jungle. Yan is able to get a kill on FBI down in the bot lane. Everything was going TL's way. They just obliterated Energy.
If Energy said, hey, you can't